Well, hello there, and welcome to episode 23 of my self-employment vlog. I hope you're all well. Thank you for checking in. Now, this will be a fairly short episode. There's not too much to report in terms of what's been happening this week. So, what has been happening this week? Well, I've done a bit of busking, which is great, and that's going very well.
Let me go back.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's okay. It's still recording. You can stop whenever you want, though. I'm pleased with how things are progressing. I'm getting more confident. I'm memorising more of the music, so I'm able to play with a bit more confidence, I suppose, and interpretation, and it means that I'm less restricted by my music, which often can be problematic sometimes if it's windy, and it's just one less thing to think about and worry about. I have decided that it's probably time for me to start exploring some other areas. I wanted to kind of wait for shops to reopen and just to kind of ease myself back in before I started sort of darting all over the place, because I wanted to make sure I was keeping myself safe. So I'm going to explore a few new locations just for comparison, really, to see, you know, are they worthwhile, you know, going to. Obviously, I'm quite fortunate in that my current pitch is very close, with no kind of outlay at all, no parking costs, so I'm very lucky, but I also appreciate the fact that I can't just constantly go there all the time, otherwise I'm going to sort of burn out, and it's going to be a bit tiresome after a while for the people and the residents. So I think it's time just to have a little look elsewhere, so I will keep you posted on that. In other news, well, I entered a remix competition some time ago for some music for a sample library company, and they had a little trailer and they wanted you to score the music for it. So judging took quite a long time, but I'd found out that unfortunately I wasn't successful this time, but you know, that's fine. These things happen. I'm still awaiting results for a couple of other competitions, but I think with lockdown a lot of people have had time on their hands and therefore have entered these competitions, and so they've been inundated with entrants, so it's just taking a lot longer, but it's fine. You know, it would be great if I could win something, just because I've never had really much success when it's come to competitions. I always have a lot of people say, oh yeah, your music's great, this is brilliant, but whenever it comes to a competition I seem to just never really make it anywhere, you know, so it's a bit soul destroying. But I think that's probably a discussion for another episode. I think my opinion of competitions now has changed slightly, and it's something I'll discuss, you know, at another time in terms of, you know, whether it's valid and things like that, but we'll leave that for another time. I've been making great progress on The Nature of Solitude 2, particularly part 2. The second part has really kind of developed nicely, and there's some lovely ideas, actually. I'm really pleased with how it's going. I've done the first 8 minutes now, so it's clearly starting to develop and flesh out. I anticipate probably both parts being around about 20 minutes each, which is, you know, in line with what my first album was like. And I think probably apart from that, I felt a bit stressed this week, and I know why. It's related to my teaching, and since lockdown I've had a fairly consistent equilibrium where everything is kind of ticked over week by week, everything being the same each time, no stress, no drama, just kind of ticking by. But because a lot of things are changing now, you know, the music school that I teach in is reopening on the 20th of July. I'm having to now adapt and change my schedule and prepare, you know, a lot of pupils for different time slots, some online, some face-to-face. And when you've got quite a lot of pupils, you know, and for me, I've got about 24, it's kind of quite logistically tough to organise. And so I've been feeling a bit stressed about it, and it all comes down to control. I think I'm fine as long as I'm in control of everything and I know where I stand and what I'm doing. I tend to feel fine. But as soon as there's a sense of things outside of my control, I find it very hard to switch my brain off and relax and think, right, this is out of my control, there's nothing I can do, and just kind of going with things. And I know that's always been a challenge that I've sort of had in all areas of life. So I just feel this week I faced that that little gremlin on my shoulder who's kind of been in my ear giving me grief. And so I just need to try and relax and remember that there's some things that are out of your control, and I have to switch off. I need to try and switch off. I think I've had quite a lot of nights where I found it really hard to switch my brain off. Now when you're self-employed and you know you are your business, it can be hard to separate your life from your work. And I guess a lot of self-employed people will experience this, no doubt, where you have to sort of somehow give yourself permission to switch off from your day job, as it were. And I found that hard this week, I must admit. And I felt under the weather, and I felt a bit run down and not quite myself. And I know exactly why, I know the reasons, so I just need to be aware of it and make sure that I'm on top of it and it's not on top of me. Yeah, that's it. So thanks for checking by. I do appreciate it. I've had quite a few new subscribers recently, so I do appreciate people hitting the subscribe button, because it means a lot to me, and hopefully it means that you're enjoying the content that I'm producing at the moment, and I can continue to keep doing it. So if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't subscribed, then please just click on the subscribe button. And I try to regularly upload on at least a weekly basis, so there's always new content coming out. But that's it. Have a lovely week. I will see you next time. Bye.